G'day fellas, and welcome to a special video of Age of Empires 4. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a game that BeastyQT played up against Leenock in N4C in the grand final. And we're going to look at his Delhi build order. I want to take a look exactly what he wants, or what he's doing in the early game. And we are going to witness that right now. So already looking at what he's doing, going for a mill nice and early, and you can see he's got 5 villages on a straggler tree. Okay, he's chopped all of the wood off this. And one of the villagers built the mill. He's now got the mill with wheelbarrow, and look, he's still on the straggler tree at this point in time. He's now getting up enough for his mining camp and also going for his house here. This is a very high level build order. Now keep in mind, he's only going 1 scout at the moment, just doing a bit of scouting out there. So this is top level stuff. And the reason why I'm casting this is because it caught my eye when I was casting this game in the grand finals, because this was something very special that I hadn't seen before. So he manages to gather up 100 wood from his straggler tree. He's got 2 villages on the gold. Now, I would love to write this down, but instead, we're just going to watch it. We're just going to wing it. So he's got 7 and 2 at this point in time. At the same time, efficient production and piety. So the goal is that he is going to be able to get up to the feudal age, and both of those techs are going to be researched as soon as he ages up, and he can immediately go into sanctity. There's no downtime whatsoever. You saw how quickly he put down this mosque. And so that's what we're looking at. That's what we're trying to study here. We're not really casting this game. So obviously he's going up against Leenock. Leenock playing the Abbasid, but we're not going to be talking about that. We're just going to be focusing on Beasty, on everything that he does, because that is really what I'm interested in learning, because this Delhi strategy is... This was the first time I've ever seen this build order, and as I said, it really caught my eye. So now dropping down the lumber camp here. You can see he's going on his close wood here. Obviously, the other option is down towards the south, where he's got it a bit further out. But he's obviously going to be working on wheelbarrow, going straight into survival techniques after that. And now you can see, so he's gone 8 and 2 at this point, and now he's transitioning over to wood. So forestry is going to be what he's researching at the same time, just still searching out with that one, or with that single scout. Now, I wonder how this changes if he's up against like a Rus player. Does he add in a second scout at some point? Probably. But you can see it was a very tight build order when it came through. Just the way that he was able to have the 5 villages on the straggler in the same direction as the berries. You know, one villager building up the mining camp, or up the mill, and then onto the mosque. Another villager going house into the mining camp, and then onto that. So yes, Beasty's currently playing under a different name. He's playing under Core. I'm assuming it's a meme on his stream. I know Beasty is a guy who loves to meme, loves to do, you know, funny, silly sort of stuff. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why. But he's just having a bit of fun. But yes, that I assure you that is BeastyQT. So now we can see he's now added in a fair few more villages onto his wood, now going to be, or onto his berries. Now looking to get the Dome of the Faith down. Actually cancels one of the straggler trees. Doesn't care too much about that because he's now got this wood line up. So now going to be getting 3 villages on this. You can see he's got 5 villages on the food, 2 villages on his gold, and now adding in more and more villages onto his wood line. From here, still just creating villages. You can see piety is now coming in. So he's got the timing for this build order worked out so impeccably that what you're going to witness is something, in my opinion, it was very amazing to watch it happen, because I sort of like double took. I'm like, wait a minute, he's got piety and he's got efficient production already coming through. So the reason why piety is really important is because, as you can see, it increases the extra... Oh, look what he's doing. Okay, so this is another key part. So it increases the health on your scholars. So I think they've only got like a base of 75. It goes up to 115. So it gives you a nice little thing. Now, other thing he's doing, clearing out the wolves. So these wolves would have been on like the path. If he wants to send his scholar out here and then he wants to move to the north, he obviously doesn't want to take damage on that. So as a result, that's what he looks to do. So now we can see piety almost coming through, 44 seconds to go on that. He's still aging up, pretty decent time as well here. Now going to be chasing this one down. Barrack's going to be coming through here as well. I hate that sound. A lot of sheep here though, 12 sheep in total. So now with the barracks, now obviously he's playing up against the Abbasid dynasty. He hasn't scouted anything at the moment that Leenock's doing, but just to give you a bit of an insight, Leenock is on stone, not on stone. So opening just a blind archery range. I mean, I say blind archery range. You can see that he is scouting it, though. But a very curious decision coming out from Leenock here in this situation. But we'll see how he plays it. We're not going to be casting the entire game. This is a 24-minute game. This video probably won't be 24 minutes. We're just going to be looking at what BeastyQT does. And now you can see, piety, 1 second remaining. Boom. Completed. Bam. Second age. Immediately. This build order is absolutely broken. It is so freaking good. Straight into Sanctity. Immediately into Sanctity. Now, obviously, it's a little bit delayed, the Sanctity, but it's about the quality of the Sanctity because he is looking to really start using those scholars and getting them out into some serious numbers. And that's what attracted me so much to this build order was because of the beautiful timings that happen in here. So, obviously, you see Beastie doing a great job with that. And now behind this, double blacksmith coming down. So not looking to go into archery ranges, not looking to go into a stable, but double archery ranges. This is why I wanted to look at this build order because this, in my opinion, is exactly how you play Deli. This is the perfect way to play Deli. You know, when people put Deli in the S tier, this is why they put Deli in the S tier. It's because of everything that BeastyQT is doing right now. It is absolutely impeccable play coming out from him. And now we see the first scholar being created. So he's just got the 2 villagers here on gold. Going to be slowly but steadily training up more scholars. Obviously wants to keep production of that as high as possible. Now with the double blacksmith in, probably going to be getting upgrades through any second now. Any second now, Beastie. Any second now. So a little bit of a misplay there. But obviously, I mean, at the high level, there's a lot of stuff going on. So don't be surprised. But now you can see he's starting to split more villages between food as well as wood. So still keeping a very steady amount of villagers on wood at the moment. Actually rallying towards wood as well. So 12 on wood at the moment. Obviously, it says 7, but a lot of these guys are making the new lumber camp as well as dropping down a stable. And now we can see he's got those upgrades. So one of them going to be doing iron undermesh as well as bloomery. And then this one's going to be doing steeled arrow and then fitted leatherwork. So focusing his ranged upgrades first and then going into his melee upgrades. And now you can see that camel coming out, doing a little bit of work here on the front. Now this camel's going to be very annoying, very just frustrating for Beastie to deal with because obviously he has to go off the gold. It might potentially delay his scholar production. But now we can see the archer mass beginning to build up. Doesn't have any scholars actually in these yet, but going to put his scholar into the stable and going to focus. You can see he's really going to get out a lot of these horsemen at this point. But you can just see how beautiful this build order is. It is like, and the way that it's coming together. Because right now, Sanctity is about to come online. 39 seconds. He's not really in a position to push out at this point because he's gone for the double blacksmith. So if you're playing your own game and you want to try and push out a little bit earlier, then by all means do it. But the issue that you're going to run into is maybe your enemy's got upgrades, you won't have them. If you get the double blacksmith nice and early, like he has, you're always going to have it. And now we can see he pushes out, tries to get a little bit of map control, kind of gets punished here. Now scholars are beginning to move out to the north. Scout is going to spot that, going to look to stop that. Probably going to be able to take out that scholar. Keep in mind, it's got the piety, so I take it back 130 health on that. So a lot more health there. Now, ideally, he's probably going to just garrison it in this archery range if he wants to keep it alive. If it makes it, he's not going to make it. He probably could have made it, actually. I think he probably would have died. Oh, God, I don't know. It's too hard to know, but you probably could have garrisoned it in the archery range, but it's hard when there's so much going on. But let's focus on what we've got going on behind this. So you can see he's sitting on what is typically known as 1-1-1, which is 1 stable, 1 barracks, 1 archery range. And that is essentially what the Deli love to sit on. It's incredibly important. You can see Abbas is probably doing the same thing. Yeah, 1-1-1. This is something that Give You Anxiety really popularized. And so the idea is that you would just want to stay on one of everything. And then depending on what you need, you would move your scholar around. So if you need spears, then you would move your scholar into the barracks. But at this point in time, you can see he's just going to be really focusing on getting a lot of horsemen out because they're very effective against the camel archer composition. And now we see scholars moving out onto the map. This is really important. Always move out onto the map with your scholars. And you don't have to be actually, moving out with a military force. Feel free to send them out blind. Feel free to send them out into, unexplored territory. It's all about getting to that sacred site. And you can see he does know that this sacred site is here. He's already cleared out the wolves when he knew he was going to be coming up here to take this sacred site. So already comes out here with the scout, cleans that up, and now looks to take the top sacred site. And now the response needs to happen from his opponent. And so this is really where Deli starts to take off because remember, who has got their level 1 upgrades? Well, guess who it is? It's BeastyQT. He's got all of his economic upgrades. He's got all of his military upgrades. You can see the second one's coming in now, and Deli is coming online, and this is where Deli hits their power spike. It is right now, because he's got 2 villagers on gold. That's all he needs, just to maintain that scholar production. That's all he cares about with that. He takes his sacred site up towards the north. Even if he loses a scholar, it's not a big deal. It's ticking in gold for him. That's what he wants. It's sending his enemy up to this position, so it's not down here. And it means he can come towards this sacred site and subsequently move out with his forces. And it's such a smart move from him to do that. Now, he's going to be able to bring out more scholars. You can see he's starting to build up scholar masses as well. Typically, you wouldn't want to get too many more mosques. I think this is more than enough. And you can actually see he doesn't even have his scholars inside the mosque. Doesn't need them. Does get all-seeing eye as well, which I think increases the line of sight for your scholars as well. Buffs it up a little bit. But now heading up towards the north. But let's focus more on this build order. So now he starts to expand out to these positions. Not sending a lot of villagers out onto these, but one of the things that he will do is create an outpost. It's imperative that you do this. You can't be out here on a naked berry bush or berry patch like this. You must have an outpost with it. Otherwise, you will lose those villagers. Your enemy typically will pick them up at some point. At the high level, definitely. At the lower levels, maybe. But this is really it. Like, when it comes to breaking down this build order, I feel like at this point, it should be very easy for you guys to be able to put this together into your own games. But one of the things that you want to be doing, okay, so you see how Beastie comes out here, right? And he's contesting this sacred site, and he's looking to hold it. Even if, let's say he lost that, just immediately, you're sending like a scholar straight out here, immediately. You're just, all you care about is just capturing the sacred sites. You're not going for a win. You just want to hold the sacred sites because it's going to give you that gold. And now look what he's doing. He's starting to transition into a castle age. You can see it coming behind, but look at his production. At the same time, barracks still under max production. Archery range still under max production. We've got the stable not producing anything at the moment. Okay, but now it's producing 2 units. So he is still producing units out the wazoo here, but at the same time starting to build up a significant amount of gold behind this, really forcing his enemy under a lot of pressure, now beginning to raid the resources. And once again, we see the consequence of not putting an outpost on your berries. You get punished for it. And we saw the villagers there taking a few shots. But now look what's happening. It is a big move, and at this point, the game is over. There's literally nothing that Abbasid can do at this point to win this game. He didn't stop the sacred sites from being taken, and that was pretty much it. You really have to deny the sacred sites, and you have to, I mean, as the Abbasid, I don't actually know how you'd play the matchup at all, but you just have to stop the sacred sites from being captured. And now you can see that the BeastyQT is sitting up on about 600 gold, about to go up to that next stage. So there you go. It's now 12 minutes. Age up comes through. He transitions straight into men-at-arms, and now once again, you know, the consequence of not building that outpost. This is it. This is it. I mean, you would have lost this anyway, but you know, you're getting made to run naked through the streets at this point. But yeah, so from here, what's your finish? What's your transition? Your finish is that you would go into barracks, so you would drop down a whole bunch of barracks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that scholar come in and join this barracks, and you would just make a lot of men-at-arms. And if your enemy gets to the castle age, you would begin making crossbows, and that would be it. That would literally be it. Throw in a couple mangonels, throw in a couple of springalds if you need to, but yeah, that's really it. And now you can see he's just cleaning up the army, and that's essentially it. When it comes to this game, this is a 24-minute game. I'll show you guys the timer. So you can see 24-minute game, but that is really it. And you can see now the barracks being dropped down, obviously going up with the House of Learning straight into owned blades. But yeah, it's all about going into mass barracks and going straight into men-at-arms. He's only got spearmen coming through at the moment, but I suspect it'll be men-at-arms and crossbows that'll be coming out if his enemy gets up to age 3. But there you go. That is your build order breakdown for BeastyQT's amazing Delhi opening. It is impeccable. It's perfect. There's not a single way you could improve it. So well done to Beastie for finding it, and congratulations. I'll catch you guys in the next one.